Hello, welcome back to EPG. I'm, of course, Greg, your host. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that is very close to my heart, and that is my confessions of being a passport bro. The first thing I need to do is give you a very clear definition of exactly what a passport bro is. So a passport bro is a gentleman from a Western country, whether it be United States, UK, parts of Western Europe, that travels to the developing world with the explicit intent of finding young women to date, have relationships with, and possibly marry. That is very, very, very different than the negative connotation of sexual tourism, which is all about gratification and exploitation. And unfortunately, I saw that firsthand when I was in Cambodia, and it was just so awful and disgusting. But being a passport bro is not about that. It's about finding a relationship with somebody, nurturing somebody, and hopefully eventually, culminating that in marriage. So everyone can have an idea of what the guy gets out of it. A beautiful young lady that, comes back to whatever home country they have, and, they get to have children and marry and all the fun stuff. But one of the things, especially talking with the women that I dated in these countries, was what the women get out of it is that in a lot of these places, they're a little bit behind when it comes to kind of male-female relations. There is a lot of misogyny, a lot of machismo, especially in Latin America. There is abuse that happens, and in other like Eastern Europe, there is drug abuse, there is alcohol abuse. So a lot of these women who are looking for traditional relationships, they are kind of at a loss with what is available to them in these places. So when somebody from the Western world comes and, is a nice guy and, wants to build a future with somebody, that is what they get out of it, because that is what they're looking for. So another part that a lot of people have a misconception about is that when people travel, or when men travel to these places, they're going to like the remote villages and finding the least educated, the most kind of depraved, poverty-stricken people, so that you can just show a couple dollars and then they go nuts and just like, yeah, I'll marry you. Come on, I'll go home with you, whatever. That's not the case, because in a lot of these places, especially with the women that I dated, they were executives. One was an executive at a very large multinational beverage company in Thailand. Another was an executive at a market research firm. And another one was a radiologist tech at a local cancer hospital. So these are highly educated women who are just looking for somebody to have a life with, start a relationship with. So getting into the other part of how to actually meet these people, there are several ways to do it, and these are ways that I did. So I would say one of the first ones is just talking to people, where you happen to be staying, whether it's a hotel or a hostel. You can talk to the people at the front desk, especially if they're women, say like, hey, where do you go hang out? Is there a bar nearby? Is there a club? Don't ask them out because that can make things really awkward if they say no, or if they're not interested, or if they have a boyfriend or a husband. But just be like, yeah, it'd be cool. We can get some people together at the hostel. We can all go out. You can all show us this place. Yeah, just don't go after the people who are working at your hostel, or as I like to say, don't poop where you eat. And that kind of goes with everything with this whole kind of relationship advice. Don't poop where you eat. Another thing, too, is that even the people at the hostel, not the people who work there, but the people who are traveling. I mean, everybody can go out as a group, or you can hang out with people individually. I hung out with a lot of people one-on-one. Go have a drink, go to dinner. Just because, again, it's kind of like the whole travel dynamic is that everybody's out looking to make new friends, and then friendship can blossom into something else and then continue. Another thing that you can do is go out to a bar. You don't necessarily need to go out with anybody, and you can just start having conversations with people. Although as a man, This is going to be, women already know this, so I'm just going to say, as a man in certain parts of the developing world, Colombia, other parts of Latin America, you need to be very, very careful who you associate with, because there are a lot of honeypots out there. So, you're talking up to a nice girl at a bar, she, seems into it, she gets you a drink, you drink it, and then all of a sudden you wake up without your wallet in a back alley somewhere, because either she drugged your drink or the people that she's with drugged your drink, or leads you out of a bar and then takes you to a dark alley because you think you're going to make out, but there are guys waiting there and they'll, beat the crap out of you and rob you anyway. That happened a lot. There was a story about that happening in Medellin, Colombia. So it's just, if something seems too good to be true as a guy, it usually is, for one reason or another. So just be careful with that. But I'm not saying that you shouldn't take a chance. Just go talk with people. But, definitely have your, spidey sense going off with the people you are talking and meeting with, because they might not have your best intentions. The same thing can be said, and I mentioned this in another video, a great way to get intelligence about a place where you are visiting is dating apps, and you can also meet people that way as well. So the popular ones are there, Bumble, Tinder. I just found out that Hinge, which is a very popular dating app, also can work internationally. So anywhere you go, just plop down, where you're on Hinge, and then, you have dating options available. But I will say, finishing out this video, is that my biggest confession of being a passport bro is that I never set out to be one. It just kind of happened. And to me, it was very special. Just, meeting somebody, connecting, and then, having a relationship with them that, lasted for about a year and a half. Special time. So it can happen to you, and I hope it does, whether it's abroad or at home, but yeah, so I'm rooting for you. Thank you very much for your time, and get out there.